Okay, so today is August the 2nd, 2026. I'm going to try to do this video one time, but I wanted to add to the short video of the car that I posted earlier. For those that's interested, sometimes people just like, I want to know. That's me. I want to know. Okay, so I moved. I'm in a new apartment. In the apartment that I moved from, I was a couple of months short of 3 years there. I got there September 2023. I lost my car. I think it stopped working December the 3rd, 2023. But I let go of it at the end of the month. I cashed it in, and they picked it up. I moved over here. I got the lease and signed it June the 12th, but I moved in June 25th, my first night here. But prior to June, in May, April, my plan was to get a car. I thought I would try, but I wasn't sure. It wasn't written in stone. But when I moved over here, but it wouldn't be over 5,000. So it wouldn't. I didn't want to go over 5,000. If I had to, it would be 6,000. But I didn't want to go over 5,000. So I moved over here, and when I took the apartment, I literally forgot that there was this huge hill. I forgot about that because in 22, me and my daughter checked it out, and that's when I had my Fiesta, and I just completely forgot about it. I knew there was a hill, but I thought it was further back. And I didn't think it was so aggressive. Well, the day of, I knew that it was aggressive because I come from the bus stop and I walked to the apartment. But I was coming to see a one bedroom, but I didn't mind a studio either because I'm used to the studio. But the studio here, price was the same as this other apartment that I was going to get for the one bedroom. So since I'm, used to the studio, okay, I will look at it. And so I got here and I liked the studio. So I took the apartment because she was saying it changed. The amount that I came in for, it didn't change. It then went down 100 and they're giving 1,500 off. I'm like, and I didn't mind being in the studio any old way. So I took it. So then I didn't even think about the car. I just moved in. I had packers for one day. My daughter helped me for about 3 days with a few things, and then cleaning the apartment and bringing over everything else, about 4 or 5 trips. I literally took those things on the bus and walked all this way, went over the hill, did all that alone, and it was hard. That part was hard. The apartment stuff wasn't because I was not cleaning like I did when I was young. I'm just wiping it down like this, and I ain't cleaning like I did like when I was in the military. We ain't doing that anymore. And so I didn't do it. I just wiped everything down. The only thing I cleaned good was the stove. Everybody should just clean the stove really good. And the refrigerator. Those two, you should clean those real good. The rest of them, I wiped them down and, the bathtub and all that. And so I got over here and everything, and I'm not complaining, going back and forth up and down the hill, even though the store is at the end. But the hill my legs were swelling up really bad and it was hard, so I had to get the car. So I looked for the car. Let's see, in June, at the beginning of June, I looked and I saw this car. And it was, I believe it was 5,000. I don't know what it was. It was 5,995 or something like that. It was 5,000, 495 or 4,895, whatever, something like that. 5,495 or something like that. And it was that's basically the same, right? It's 5,000. So I kept looking at it every day, looking at it. And it's let's go and test drive. But I'm just terrified because I haven't driven since, December 23. And so finally, it's a 35-minute walk from here. I chose that place because it was close to my area. It's not a big auto dealership, a regular tiny small one. But the big auto dealerships are actually on this road. But I went to that one. So it's 35 minutes walk. I get over there. I test drive it. And the only thing, it wasn't bad, it was the roads that scared me. I lost all of that. I was scared of the roads, and it wasn't even anything because I kept it simple, like a 10-minute drive, probably all in all. Probably from the beginning I left and back. I went all the way down this road to the store, got out, looked around the car, got back in the car, drove all the way back. What I told him is, your steering wheel is not locking. It was a boop, 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 boop. No. And so I told him that, and I told him that there was a sensor light on. So he was telling me how somebody had looked at it, a man and a daughter. No one said anything. No one said anything. They test driving this vehicle. No one said anything. So he said, well, I'm going to go ahead and have this fixed. This is a liability. Would you be interested in the car even still? And I said, of course, So he did all of that. And what I didn't tell you was, even though it was that much, the night before I came to test drive it, they brought it down to $4,995. That was my $5,000. That's what they brought it down to. So they had those things fixed, and it was 400 some plus. I come to the office. I said, do I need to pay anything? They said no, because it's a liability. It's something that we have to do. So they paid for the whole thing. And so I got the car for $5,000. So what I was going to do was put $1,200 down originally. But it would have been like I went through the credit union 130 something, so I didn't want that much. So I turned around and added 200, so I put $1,400 down. So my payments are $125. So after I put the $1,400 down, theirs is $4,000. So the credit union is, them with $4,000. So I'm talking, I'm doing all this. I go to the bank. I'm already prepared. I ain't doing Gap. I ain't doing your warranty. I ain't doing anything. It's gonna be that $4,000. But because of my Fiesta and its problem, and I think they were hiding stuff with this car, it's just the way everybody's acting, the older man, and I'm asking about the transmission, telling them the story about my Fiesta and transmission. Well, and everybody, they're used to everybody trying to fish stuff off. So you're not being sneaky, no matter what you do. They've seen it all, heard it all. And so they make sure they don't say anything. And so, but I can tell even, after the fact. So when I get to the credit union and everything, I was pre-approved anyway. I went and got pre-approved before I got tested, and I went there and I didn't take the Gap. We didn't need it because, it's a low car. But I did wind up getting warranty, which was $2,000. I'm looking at it, $279. So by the time it was through and I put my $1,400 on it, I think I'm barely over 6,000 and something. So that's for you guys that would like to know, well, how much did it cost? Well, it was a little bit like they took it down exactly 500. Isn't that crazy? That wanted 5,000 and turned it to be that way. So the first night yesterday, I went and picked it up and I got it back, and I had all kinds of crazy emotions and everything. And I thought it wasn't driving right here, there, all kinds of crazy stuff. And then I just picking. And then last night I noticed in this new apartment, it's like nobody wanted to park next to me. And this is where you guys always park. And I called my car Rain. Like, what's the problem? You scared of rain? Look, rain ain't did anything to you. What's the problem? I wake up 3, 4, look out the window. No one parked next to my car. But anyway, so I get up and I plan to do this Sunday. So I left the house about 7:30 and I went to Walmart. I went and got gas first and filled it up, went to Walmart. And I noticed when I got back home, the drive was good. Even though I'm still suspicious of the way they were acting, it could be transmission, it could be something. But he was glad that I had warranty and was, hoping that the car's well. They may know something, or you're just jittery because we're buying a used car. And so I'm going to take it to the mechanics and have them check it out. I know some people do that ahead of time. He was telling me he did that with his ahead of time. The credit union girl was telling me she had hers paid and checked out and everything and still ran into a problem to get messed up and had to get rid of the car. So you just never know. But it is wiser to have it looked at. But I'm not that type of person. So, but today I drove, everything was smooth. I tried not to be paranoid. I didn't have air conditioning on, radio on, nothing, and everything was smooth. But I said I was going to look at some YouTube, is it tachometer or something, but the RPM. and see how that, because I was looking at one, if they do this and then do that, is your transmission, or is your transmission fuel is all dirty, and and I'm just paranoid, like, oh my God, yesterday I knew it. And it's like, I ain't doing all that. And so the drive today was really great. It was really nice. It wasn't that bad. And I'm just going to take it to the mechanics and have them look over things and check it out and pay that price. So this is for the people that actually want to know how much this costs, how much that costs. And it's, it's not being nosy. It's not being nosy. Sometimes we just want to know when we're actually thinking about getting a car. So take care of yourself and have a great day. Bye-bye.